Steve, either of Mike or Judith?
I'll ask Judith one more question. And I think that, as I was saying before, that the principal elements of importance for a board director in the area of judgment and decision making and in influencing, the ability to bring consensus in. Can you share with us some specific situation where it demonstrated the quality of your judgment, the ability to bring facts to a decision in an uncertain environment? Or could you share with us a circumstance where you've been able to build consensus specifically so that we can have confidence that you can contribute in that way on the board? Do you have a specific example that you can tell us about?
Yes, I do. Some of it may sound a bit arcane because it happened in my 25-year career in advertising in San Francisco, and it happened when I was on the executive committee of my advertising agency when I was senior vice president and running one of the biggest departments, the media department. In executive committee, I had proposed a major reorganization of my department, and the major reorganization had major impact on the way it would interface with many other departments, two of which had much more power and panache within the agency as a whole. One of them was the creative department, and the creative department runs everything. And through a period of several meetings of the executive committee, and then vice presidents within that, I was able to show them how what I had proposed would actually facilitate better communication within the media department and their groups. And they wound up wholeheartedly, all of them, backing my proposal.
Okay, Judith, your turn.
My turn.
There's a
Okay.
question of either Mike or Steve.
Okay, Mike, equal opportunity question. You have done a lot of things from the outside in. And if you are elected director, you are going to be working from the inside. So I'd like you to talk about how would you, given the management company that's coming in, how would you work with the management company? Well, what would you do with IUS, given the management company and given the current state of mind of the IUS, both in terms of personnel and given what they would do? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Good question. Well, having had to wait, told by iOS once a few years ago that it would take 8 days for them to come up and fix my sink that was overflowing. I can tell you quite honestly that the iOS staff is understaffed, and there needs to be a lot of supervision. Another thing I would do is I would have them record all the parts that they use. There should be an inventory. Everything should be accounted for. Things could just walk out of here and no one would even know it, including air conditioning units. And I think hopefully the outside management company will develop something to put a control on iOS. Well, in a luxury building, we should be getting immediate service. You call and say your apartment's flooding. You don't want to hear, I'll see you in 8 days. You want to say, I'll be right there. And that's the way it should be, and that's how I'll make it be if I'm elected.
Okay, Michael, final question from you for either Judith or Steve.
Okay, let's go ahead. You again, Judith. Well, the other night at the board meeting, one of the directors suggested to the other board members, he made a motion, I don't know if you watched the meeting, but he motioned that he wanted to prohibit all tape recordings and audio recordings of the board meetings, and that the board would tape them, and then they would decide later on whether or not we should be able to see them. And so I'd like to know how you feel about that, and if you were a director, what would you do if another board member recommended that?
And these are open sessions. Open sessions. Well, first, I think, and special meetings that are open meetings. Okay. I think that open meetings to the Galaxy owners and anyone else who wants to come down here and watch them should be not only on air, which they're open, but also should be taped in order to be put on Channel 26, because not everybody has the luxury of making the time to be there. I don't think there should be a decision about whether or not they should be rebroadcast. And I think also that if you want to make your own tape, I don't see how anyone can permit that under freedom of speech to be allowed. Now, hopefully, persons that tape it would not edit it. I think that should be a requirement. They're not edited, as far as I know, on Channel 26. And I would hope that any taping would be used commonsensically. But I think it's part of freedom of speech to do that. And if it is, and there's no prohibition, then I don't see how we can stop it. But I think it absolutely should be, the tape should be issued on Channel 26. There's no question in my mind.
Okay, with